This is KM from Impact Wrestling, and you are listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio.
You're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio, featuring the interactive interview, courtesy of WrestlingEpicenter.com. Welcome to another edition of Interactive Wrestling Radio right here on WrestlingEpicenter.com and YouTube. I am James Walsh, and we're trying to get a little into the Halloween spirit around here, but what we really want to do is get into the Bound for Glory spirit. This week, we welcome a gentleman who will be at Bound for Glory. Does not have a match. I'm sure he will have a match at the Impact tapings, but I'm sure he might be involved in the Knockouts match featuring Sienna, Gail Kim, and Allie. Should be one hell of a match, and he puts a pretty good sale on it at the end of this interview, so you're going to want to tune in, if nothing else, for that promo that he cuts on this match alone. Big dude, been wrestling a long time. His name is KM, and you do not want to call him a liar. Trust me, because there's a few times he told me things during this interview that I'm not sure were true or not true, or I'm confused. I got to be honest, I'm confused. Anyway, I wanted to mention this. This interview is a little bit in kayfabe, a little different than maybe some of our other ones. If you're just tuning us for the first time, we tend to be more of a shoot-style show, but obviously we sometimes have to have the guys in character, and it's always a welcome change when we do. KM definitely is in character at times, almost like a Hollywood Hogan kind of thing. Well, you know, brother, Kevin James called me up, and he said, brother, I need you to raise my ratings, dude. You know, that kind of thing. But when he's on track, it's a lot of fun. And even when he is in character, it's a lot of fun as well. I think you guys will really enjoy this interview. It reminds me of a story I wanted to tell. We almost had Abdullah the Butcher on the show, and we never did. And this was back in 2003. And the idea was Abby would be in the background, smacking his belly, going, oh, almost like Kamala. And whoever the hell this shyster dude was that was booking him at the time was going to read what he wrote on a piece of paper as if it was the answer to the question. And I never took part in that interview, and I wish I had, for only one reason. Could you imagine how epic it would be to go back and listen to that now? Just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Wish what I would have done it. I thought it would be a little too hokey. Anyway, enjoy the interview with KM. Remember, Impact Wrestling every Thursday night on Pop TV in the U.S., and of course the Global Wrestling Network app is available now, so check it out at ImpactWrestling.com.
This is Josh Matthews, and you are in the Wrestling Epicenter.
You got a lot of nuts talking that way.
And you're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Don't call me a liar!
Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio. On the Newsmaker line with me right now is an Impact Wrestling star who's about to enter one of the more exciting weeks of his career. The one and only KM. KM, are you with me?
I'm here. How's it going?
It's great to have you on the line, man. So I mentioned you're going to have a great week this coming week, and there's a couple big things happening, one of which I didn't know about until just a couple days ago. And, of course, everybody knows, though, about the big event happening Impact Wrestling-wise, Bound for Glory up in Canada on November the 5th. I know that you're going to be there, probably seconding Sienna. What is your thoughts going into Bound for Glory and the Impact tapings up in Canada?
Well, I will be there, but I will not be accompanying Sienna to the ring side. She does not need me. to beat 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of the Impact knockouts. I will, however, be in attendance watching and cheering on my cousin as she once again stays, just like me, undefeated in Impact Wrestling. Yes, we are undefeated. So don't go looking at the tapes or the old footage or the new app or any of that. We're undefeated. Just take my word for it. I won't lie to you.
I will not call you a liar.
Okay.
All right. So the other thing is that you're going to be guesting on one of my favorite shows, actually. You're going to be having a guest spot on Kevin Can Wait, the CBS show featuring Kevin James. How'd that come about?
Yeah, I will. I was just trying to, I don't know, dip my feet in other kind of puddles outside of the professional wrestling business. I've been in this for 18 years now, and I'm a star. I'm by far the biggest star Impact has. I mean, we're both in agreement with that one. I'm undefeated. I'm the uncrowned champion, and ever since I came on board at Impact Wrestling this past March, ratings have been through the roof. So it doesn't take a brain surgeon to know that my phone's been ringing off the hook over the past couple of months. And I mean, Kevin James, oh, sorry, there's a train passing me. Kevin James, I mean, I don't know, maybe the ratings were struggling a little on CBS. Kevin James, he's not as big of a star as Cam, so they need a little star power on the show. Called me up. They said, hey, we see what you're doing over at Impact Wrestling. We see you bringing the ratings through the roof. We need help, Cam. So got on the next plane, and,
Cool.
the rest is history. So, yeah. That's
Excellent.
that's exactly how it happened.
I believe you. I'm not calling you. I won't keep using that. I promise. All right. You also have a credit on The Wrestler. You were a guest spot on that. I did not remember catching on that, but what was it like being on set for that movie? And did you have any idea it was going to become the phenomenal hit that it became?
Well, here's how that came about. Mickey Rourke's career. It was kind of just hanging there in the balance. He wasn't really going anywhere. It was kind of at a standstill. Mickey Rourke called me up one day. Mickey Rourke said, hey, I'm filming this movie, and I don't think it's going to do too well. I do not have the star power on my own to make this a hit. He heard about me through Around the Way, and he said, I need you on board. I need you to help make this a box office hit. I was like, I did him a favor. I'm good buddies with Mickey Rourke, and I said, yeah. I said, I'll help you out. I came on board, and then I filmed. I was, don't worry, I was in it. And in the credits and everything, I'm in it. You probably, fell asleep. I was featured for roughly around, 45 minutes straight. And, and then the movie wound up winning a whole bunch of awards. I have a whole bunch sitting on top of my TV. That's exactly how that happened.
Excellent. So you mentioned that you've been wrestling for a long time now, and you and I were pretty close in age. We both grew up in the metropolitan area. I guess my question would be, do you view now this opportunity with Impact Wrestling, now this big shot that you're getting, as your big break?
I view it as this is Impact's big break. I would deem this more of Impact's break than my break. But if I could be serious for a moment, a little Lance Storm quote there. Let me think. My big break. Yes, at the moment, I'd be better off answering that question to see how it all plays out down the line. I could catapult and become even a bigger superstar than I already am. Who knows? But at this moment, yeah. I never really had real deal TV exposure with a major wrestling company, stuff here and there. But as far as, a featured run or anything like you want to call like that, this is an opportunity. I would say it's a good opportunity, but let's see how this all plays out. So far, so good. I think we both complement each other well. I had a new little flavor for the TV show. I make everybody hate my guts, and I get to be me. Most importantly, I get to be me. That's everyone's like, oh, your gimmick. your gimmick. Fans love saying that your gimmick. What gimmick? Talk to anyone who's known me for 18 years. What gimmick am I doing? I'm literally given the green light to be myself. That's the only reason it comes off so naturally. I'm me. I get to be me.
I was going to say those vignettes you did where you're yelling at the waiter and things like that. Those are really, really funny things. Are you calling me a liar? Is that, something that you came up with or they came up with for you, or is it just an extension of you?
That's a little dirty Dutch for you right there. So, yeah, he's hands-on.
Oh, Dutch Mantel. Okay.
Yes, sir. He's hands-on with a lot of KM stuff, but he kind of just basically pulls back the curtain, gives me the green light, and says, be yourself. I mean, I was a nightmare student in school. I was kicked out of 3 schools, suspended 13 times. I mean, I was a horrible kid. Got into so many fights, and I mean, this character, if you want to call it a character, this is just me, man. This is just me. Like, if I came out kissing babies and high-fiving people and smiling and hamming it up, like, that's a character. That doesn't feel comfortable. This feels comfortable.
Very cool. I've been reading up on you because I like to do my research, and I see that some of the places you work, like Pro Wrestling Syndicate and Jersey All Pro Wrestling, and a lot of various companies. And also, of course, you had chances in the WWE with some dark matches and Deep South Wrestling. What was your experience like in Deep South Wrestling training with Bill DeMott?
I think you're setting me up on that one, aren't you? If you were doing some research and reading up, I think you're purposely setting me up. You're like, I'm going to get him to spill the good stuff. Is that where we're going with this one, huh?
You don't got to go dirty if you don't want to go dirty or nasty. You can be nice if you like.
Well, everything that has happened, that's been done, that's been said over the last 11 years, it's documented. If anyone wants to go and just Google my name and Bill's name online, by all means, I'm in his book. I'm on his Wikipedia page. Me and him are forever linked to each other. Funny, the thing I always say, don't call me a liar, don't call me a liar. And I'm really saying anything that you read that I put out there, I didn't lie about it. And people are going to yeah, right, that's all you do is lie, which is kind of funny. But, I mean, I don't really want to go back to the past because it's so well documented.
Cool.
All I can say is, like, present day, I mean, the way it worked itself out, I mean, I don't have any complaints on my end. I mean, back then I had a lot. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily believe in that everything happens for a reason crap that everyone keeps spewing out of their mouth, but the way it worked itself out in 2017, I'm not really holding on to any more of that anger that I did for so long. And case in point, this past weekend there was a convention here in New Jersey, Legends of the Ring convention, and Bill was on it. And so was I. Of course, my line was wrapped around the block. I mean, the fans were just dying to meet me. They were lined up since 6 o'clock in the morning the day before, believe it or not. It's pretty wild. But that was the first time him and I would have seen each other since 2006. And he came by. He came in the room. He was on the other side. I saw him, and then we passed each other. Like, when I was leaving the building, he was sitting right there, and I caught him out of the corner of my eye last second, and we were just a couple of feet away from each other, and neither of us said anything. I mean, we just, I guess that's how it is now. I guess no. I mean, again, there's nothing on my end. There's no animosity, and I mean, I think even on his end, I mean, without talking to him, it's probably the same thing. But like I said, this could turn into a 6-hour shooter interview because my history is so well documented. No, but again, it's so well documented. I was the voice. I was the most vocal one from day one, from 2006 going all the way to present day, like up to a year ago or 2 years ago, whenever it was when he was let go. So I led the charge. I was the head of snake on that one, and I mean,
good.
You know, good things come to good people. I like to believe, much of a piece of crap I am, I'm a pretty all right person, and if I don't know if I believe in karma either. I'm not one to believe in these things. everything happens for a reason and karma will get you. I don't necessarily believe in karma. That's just a myth. There's rotten people. There's so many horrible people that get away with horrible things and don't pay for it. Karma's not a real thing, but in this case, I guess it was. I mean, it worked itself out the way it did. So it is what it is. Hey, I wish him. I know he's been through a lot of crazy stuff with his family and stuff. I mean, the tragedy that happened. I mean, I wish nothing but the best for that family. That's a chapter that I so happily closed.
Well, here's a happy subject. Your cousin, your on-screen cousin, Sienna, you guys have a great rapport together.
My blood cousin. She's my first cousin.
She really is. Okay, there you go. See, you broke it up.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
I wouldn't lie about that. I wouldn't lie about family. She's my blood cousin.
Well, I guess that kind of answers my next question. And then my next question was, how did you guys build such a rapport? But I guess that kind of stands to reason, considering you actually are related.
Yeah, I don't know what her last name is, but she is my blood cousin. I can tell you that for a 100% fact.
Yeah.
Just like Mickey Rourke and Kevin James called me up, Sienna is 100% my blood cousin.
I got you. I'm not calling you a liar. All right.
Yeah.
So, recently on Impact, you got a chance to work with a guy that you actually worked with on a Velocity match, 12 years ago. And that is Johnny Impact now. He was John Morrison, Johnny Nitro back then. Was it cool to kind of once again get in the ring with a star the size of Johnny Mundo?
You should be asking him that question. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because when you think about it, like I hold a victory over him now in WWE, and I also hold one over him in Impact. I'm actually 2-0 against Johnny Impact, Morrison, Mundo, and Nitro, whatever the hell his name is. So it's pretty cool. Not only have I now wrestled him in both major companies, I defeated him in both major companies, which is, I guess, a little icing on the cake to that one.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Cool. Did you ever think you'd be standing in the middle of the ring while an audience chants, what was it? Douche rocket? I mean,
I never actually heard of that term before. And I'm not sure. It's still up in the air who they were referring to because there were 3 people in the ring at that time. Me, Johnny Impact, and the referee, Stifler. So it is questionable as to who not confirmed. I mean, some people say it was for me. Well, a lot of people say it was towards me, but it could have been towards you didn't know. So, but I've never been in a ring before. No, when the fans just started for no reason, not even knowing who they're chanting it at, saying the word douche rocket. That's not even a real thing. Like, so what's a douche rocket? It's a douche, but it's a rocket. It's flying out of space. A big douche. What's a douche rocket? A flying douche?
I have no idea. All right, man. So the character's well defined. You got a great partnership with your cousin Sienna. I mean, you guys really you got a great thing going right now. But where do you want this to lead to? What is the end game for KM?
Good question. Well, I signed a 2-year contract in March, so I have time. We'll see. I need to hold some gold. So whether I last 2 years in this company or 10 or 20 or grow old, I mean, the rule of thumb in wrestling is everyone's time will come at some point or another. That's the inevitable. So before it's all said and done, I mean, they have 2 main single titles. I don't really, even though I'm probably a better high flyer than the entire X Division, I don't really see myself as an X Division-esque wrestler. Although you can catch clips of me diving over the top rope, I'm just throwing it out there. Mm-hmm. Or if you're lucky enough to catch a clip of myself and Moose at WrestlePro doing Tilt-A-World Hurricane Ranas, real thing, not lying. But there's 2 titles out there. So I'm going to get a hold of one of those. Oh, I guarantee you, before it's all said and done, I will hold one of them, if not both of them. That's the inevitable that will happen. So other than that, I don't know. I kind of I've always lived my life taking things day by day and not expecting too much. I mean, things are kind of 2017's kind of been a great year. I mean, signed my contract with Impact, been there for 2 years, did a pay-per-view, been on national TV every week, went over to India
about to go to Canada. I mean, dabbling in some movie and acting stuff. So it's been kind of fun. So I don't know. I didn't expect any of this, let alone all of this, to happen this year alone. So what happens after this? I mean, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride at this point. But I mean, not saying that if opportunity comes a knocking, I'm not going to kick in the door with force and take it. But so yeah, there's two titles there that I'm kind of sitting in the background watching float around. I'm like, let's see when it lands on me. I mean, let's see. But you'll see. The ratings will go skyrocket through the roof. You know that
all right, so
that opening segment with myself and Mr. Johnny Impact was the highest rated segment in Impact in the last 4 years. You
is
know
that legitimate? Are you lying or are you being serious?
Oh yeah, no, that's legitimate. That's the highest rated, the highest quarter rating segment in the last 4 years in Impact history.
Well, I tell you the truth, and I wasn't going to mention this, and the reason I mentioned Douche Rocket at all is because when I was talking to my kids about who I was going to be interviewing today, they said, "Oh yeah, Douche Rocket." So weird things like that catch on, and are remembered.
Yeah,
so you never know.
Yeah,
with these kind of things.
I'll make a T-shirt of it. I'll walk around calling myself a Douche Rocket. I'll make a nice T-shirt of it. Hey, I'm all about the money too, so don't. I'm making a joke of it, but hey, if it catches on to the point where everyone's calling me a Douche Rocket, don't be surprised if that magically surfaces online and people are going to think they're buying it to take a shot and make fun of me. And little do they know they're buying it and just I'm watching my PayPal go through the roof while I'm packing up their stupid shirts and mailing it to them. Yeah, so I'll always have one up on everybody else that thinks they're slick. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that yesterday, your cousin Sienna and Allie did a GFW teleconference, an Impact Wrestling teleconference, and we discussed for the first time ever they were allowed to kind of say anything about Jeff Jarrett. Your thoughts on the departure of Jeff Jarrett from Impact, and do you think it'll have any impact going forward on the company?
I don't work behind the scenes, so I mean I know as much or as little as the rest of the talent does, and kind of, I hate to say it, I find out a lot of stuff through the internet. However, I am closer to the Jarretts than probably a lot of the people in the company. I did work with Jeff on GFW before it got associated with TNA and Impact. I did all of his shows from the very first GFW show in Tennessee against Moose all the way to, Iowa, Virginia, Maryland, Carolina, I mean, up and down, like Pennsylvania. I did a bunch of his shows. And Jeff was the one who called me. He called me when Mike Bennett bailed to go to WWE. They needed to finish that storyline. Jeff Jarrett was the one who called me on a Tuesday to be at TV for Thursday to come in, with my cousin Sienna, and to finish that program off. So I mean, my loyalty is to the Jarretts. I mean, obviously I'm loyal to Impact, but what I mean by that is, you don't really forget who helped you out. Like, and then and I said this before to someone else. I said, Jeff is responsible for how many people, when you trace back all the way, like that he gave a shot to. That who knows, would AJ Styles be where he is right now if Jeff didn't give him that shot at the beginning? There's so many guys that like are in all of these other companies that got their start through Jeff when he started, like that gave him that exposure when other people didn't. So it's hard to say, like, and I'm one of those guys. I'm in Impact because of Jeff Jarrett, literally solely because of Jeff. He himself is the one who suggested me and called me and booked me, and then 2 minutes later Karen called me, super excited. So I mean, it was hard when everything went down, and I read it online. Nobody told me. I found out online when I was, and I instantly reached out to him, and so that's where it is. I'm keeping up with the situation. Still staying in touch with them, and I can't say anything bad about the Jarretts. Everything that I think of them and everything that I can say about them is 1,000% positive. So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
So once again, here we head up to Canada just next week. We're 1 week away, literally 10 days away from today. It is Bound for Glory and the Impact tapings that'll ensue afterwards. Any thoughts? Final thoughts heading up into the biggest pay-per-view of the year for Impact Wrestling.
final thoughts? I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Bound for Glory next year, I'm probably going to be in the damn main event defending Bolt titles. That's probably going to happen. But this year, like I said, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to kick up my feet. And I really don't care what happens on the show outside of my cousin's match. For all I care, everyone could kill each other on the show. I don't care. Whoever has whatever title, it doesn't matter because when I come after them, that's all that matters. So whoever has the title, congratulations. You just won the lottery because I'm coming after you. Aside from that, Sienna, that's the match. That's the match. That's the match that should main event the show. That's the match that everyone wants to see. That's the reason people are buying this thing, is to see my cousin defend her title and to leave as champion. That's the only reason. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to air. You should put all of the other matches, right? Put them on Facebook Live. Let the fans watch those for free, and then just run the pay-per-view with Sienna's match, and that's it. You'll have the same amount of buys, I promise you. Nobody's buying pay-per-view for anything else other than her match. So, yeah. Did that convince you to buy it? Is that a good enough job? Did that convince you to say, like, dude, here, take my money, let's do this?
Here, there's a Facebook picture that everybody uses of Fry from Futurama, and it says, "Take my money, please." And that's kind of what I got in mind. I got in mind when you said that. There you go. All right.
That's fantastic.
Last question. Excellent. Last question for you. This is actually a favor. Do you mind giving me a radio ID, just saying this is KM, and you're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio?
Interactive. Okay. Whenever I'm ready?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. This is KM from Impact Wrestling, and you're listening to what is it called? Interactive Wrestling Radio?
Interactive Wrestling Radio. Yes, sir.
Oh,
you got it.
I had it. Damn it, I had it. You should actually air this entire thing as your plug, too. Okay. La, 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 la. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Okay. 5, 4, 3. This is KM from Impact Wrestling, and you are listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Boom. You nailed it, man. Man, you're a lot of fun to talk to. I loved it. I love what you do, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and I wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate that, man. And listen, between us, nothing I told you was a lie, I assure you. 100% factual. Especially the fact that me and Johnny Impact pulled the highest ratings, the highest quarter ratings over the last 4 years. Do me a favor, go look that one up and let me know what you find. All right, man. You have a good one.
You're working me. You take it easy, man.
Later, man.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
The Wrestling Epicenter has been around since 2002, and in that time, all these guests, everybody pictured, has been on our podcast. We're more than just a radio show, though, so check out WrestlingEpicenter.com for all your wrestling news and needs.